Fellas, welcome back to another episode of Fellas Fridays. If you haven't already done so, head on over to my profile, hit that subscribe button, and support the Scoot Gang movement so we can bring this to you each and every week. This is episode 10. The girl who makes you feel like a king will never make you chase like a clown. Fellas, let's get one thing straight from the start. The girl who makes you feel like a king will never make you chase like a clown. And if you're honest with yourself, you've probably been there before. I know I have. Let me tell you a little story. There was this girl I met at a spot that I used to hit regularly. Cool vibe, beautiful energy. She lit up every time that I walked in, or at least it felt that way. We exchanged numbers, started texting, talking, hanging out a little. At first, it felt real. She seemed interested in what I had going on, always excited to see me, smiling every time I pulled up. I liked her energy, so I gave her some more. I took her out to eat, went with her to all the fun spots that she loved, gave her rides whenever she needed it. I put her first without her ever even asking. I guess you could call it simping. I was solid. No games, just effort. But then I started to notice something. Whenever I needed something, crickets. Not even a flinch of reciprocity. And one day, you guessed it, she just stopped responding. No reason, no explanation, just silence. And stupidly, I continued to hit her up for a while, just trying to see what's up, trying to believe the connection was real, trying to figure out what I did wrong. But it wasn't me. It was the fact that I was chasing, and chasing never gets you what you're actually looking for. It gets you confused, it gets you ignored, it gets you hurt. Because real queens don't ghost kings. They recognize them. And that day, I got tired of the silence. That's the day I got my power back. Let me remind you, you don't have to chase someone who's aligned with you. You don't have to beg someone who sees your value. You don't have to perform for someone who already appreciates your presence. The woman who makes you feel like a king, she mirrors your energy. She supports your moves. She multiplies what you bring to the table. She doesn't subtract you from yourself. So if you're out here feeling like a clown while trying to love someone, it's time to walk. Because your crown doesn't fit in her circus. So let's kill the first lie that you're telling yourself. But I love her. Nah, bro. You're not in love. You're in ego. You're addicted to the chase. You're in love with what you cannot have. You're trying to force something that doesn't want to be held. Here's the truth. A man doesn't chase love. He attracts it. Through discipline, through leadership, through clarity. But when a woman doesn't make you feel like a king, you start performing. You start shrinking. You become a version of yourself that's less, just to feel like maybe you're finally enough for her. That's not love. That's insecurity in disguise. And the longer you stay in that cycle, the harder it is to leave. Because now your worth is tied to her approval. But let me remind you, the right woman doesn't inspire you to chase. She inspires you to rise. Fellas, if she makes you feel confused, small, and invisible, you're not her king. You're just her entertainment. A real woman with feminine energy, she's not going to make you guess. She wants you to lead, but she's not going to hide while you try to find her. This new wave of games, dry texts, last-minute cancels, and breadcrumb affection, that's not femininity. That's emotional immaturity. That's narcissism dressed up in makeup. Real women make your role as a man very clear. They match your effort. They mirror your tone. They give you peace, not a puzzle. But when you keep chasing confusion, you start normalizing dysfunction. You begin telling yourself, that's just how dating is. That's what high-value women do. No, bro. That's what manipulative women do. That's what emotionally unavailable women do. That's what low-effort women do when they find a man who doesn't value himself enough to walk. The woman who sees your greatness won't let you clown yourself trying to prove it. Every time you send another double text, every time you take her back after blatant disrespect, every time you cancel your plans because she might come through, you lose respect. Not just from her, but from yourself. Because women don't fall for weakness. Women don't reward men who chase. They respond to energy that's centered, focused, and clear. A man with self-worth doesn't overextend. He attracts and he observes. He leads and lets go of anyone who won't follow. You're trying to convince someone to value you, then you've already lost. Because what you tolerate teaches her how to treat you. And if you tolerate being a clown, she'll never hand you the crown. Fellas, a woman can't respect a man who doesn't respect himself. You're not being patient. You're being pathetic. Why do you chase a woman who doesn't want you? Because it's familiar? Because deep down, a lot of men were conditioned to earn love, to perform, to prove themselves. So now, if it feels too easy, you don't trust it. You assume that it's fake. You push it away. You're not addicted to love. You're addicted to validation. And that's why you keep showing up for women who don't even clap when you win. That's not masculinity. That's emotional dependency. That's wounded behavior. That's a scared little boy in a grown man's body trying to feel good enough. But fellas, the healed version of you, he doesn't chase. He doesn't over-explain. He doesn't beg for love. He builds himself so solid that peace becomes more attractive than chaos. A real woman won't test your patience. A real woman won't play with your time or confuse your role. She'll support your vision. She'll protect your peace. She'll bring out your leadership, not your desperation. The difference between a queen and a time waster, a queen multiplies what you bring. She doesn't drain it. But too many men give kingdom treatment to women who don't even qualify for the village because you're too afraid to be alone. You'd rather feel something than nothing. So you settle for pain packaged as potential. But here's what I need you to understand. You don't need a woman to crown you. You need a woman who recognizes you're already wearing one. And if she doesn't, you walk. The woman who makes you feel like a king, she's not in your comments. She's watching how you move. Some of you have been down bad for so long, you think drama is passion. You think tension is intimacy. You think confusion is chemistry. But really, you're just so addicted to feeling something because you've been emotionally starving for so long that even breadcrumbs feel like a feast. Stop letting hunger make you accept poison. You keep asking, why does she treat me like this? But the better question is, why do you stay? You stay because you don't believe peace is possible. Because you think boring is bad. Because you confuse chaos with care. But a man with emotional intelligence knows love isn't chaos. Love is clarity. Love is peace. Love is alignment, not performance. Fellas, I need you to ask yourself these 10 questions. What do I gain from chasing someone who doesn't want me? You get pain, confusion, silence. That's it. Do I feel more like a king or a clown in this dynamic? Probably a clown, and that's not me being disrespectful. That's honesty. When did I start believing love had to be earned? Do I feel seen or do I feel used? What would I tell my younger brother if he was in this same situation? Do I want her or do I just want validation from someone who rejected me? Am I attracted to peace or just addicted to potential? Have I ever walked away from confusion with my dignity intact? What would my life look like if I only entertained women who respected my presence? What am I willing to stop doing today to reclaim my crown? Write those questions down and answer them. You'll be surprised at the answers. Fellas, you're not crazy. You're just not used to peace. You were told to chase, to prove, to convince, just to try to win her over. But the healed man, he doesn't chase. He builds. He leads. He attracts. And he never, ever begs for what's already his. So from now on, if she makes you feel like a clown, cut the act. If she doesn't return your energy, protect it. If she confuses your role, clarify it by exiting. Because you weren't born to chase women. You were born to build something that they want to be a part of. Let them come find you in your purpose, not in your DMs. Fellas, once again, thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for tuning in. We do this each and every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This was Fellas Fridays, episode 10. And remember, the girl who makes you feel like a king will never make you chase like a clown. That's our time. Scooty!